Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Ebony. This is a video that's kind of new to my channel. I typically just show myself kind of messing around in the kitchen and doing things like that. I also have a couple of Tesla videos. This is more of a lifestyle, beauty, wellness. Wellness is a good way to describe this kind of video. It's a wellness video. And I'm here to just talk about something that is just very, I don't know, it's very hard for me to sit here and to talk about. You know, if it's anything else, you know, weight or something like that, I could do it because everybody talks about their weight and everybody has anxiety about their weight. But this is about hair loss. And you know, hair is something that's very, very, very important to Black women, especially. And for me to sit here and kind of open myself up for YouTube and to let you guys see me like this exposed, it's really hard. I'm very nervous right now. I'm at this moment so happy that I only have a couple of subscribers, because if I had had even 100 subscribers, I would probably change my mind about doing this. So it's good that I'm kind of filming this, and I know that it might go out into the void and not many people will see it. I know that's kind of, you know, a weird thing to hope for, and I don't necessarily hope that, but it's where my mind is at right now. That's given me the courage to sit here and talk about this problem. I just wanted to give you some background on my hair journey so far. It's going to be very quick because I know this video is going to be probably pretty long because I do have a lot of ground to cover. But basically, I suffer from hair loss, and I suffer from very, very different forms of hair loss. My dermatologist describes it. She said maybe 3 to 4 different types of hair loss patterns are presented on my scalp, in my hair. That includes traction alopecia, hormonal hair loss. There's a different type of hair loss. I can't remember what she's calling it, but I do have scar tissue on my head, in the middle of my head, from relaxers, which is going to lead me into just telling you a little bit about my hair history, and how I ended up here. So I, just like a lot of other Black girls, I grew up in LA, and in LA you had to have your hair laid at all times. So I started getting relaxers. I want to say I think I had my first relaxer in the 7th grade, which was junior high, middle school. And my hair did suffer a lot of damage when I was in cosmetology school and letting other cosmetology students play in my hair. I'm not sure where this scalp burns came from, probably just over the years. If you run your fingers over my scalp, and I'm sure a lot of Black women can attest to this, there are little bumps, you know, lumps on your scalp, and that is from chemical burn. About 2004, 2005, I was just over relaxers. I just didn't want much to do with them. This was kind of in the pre-dawn part of, I think, the natural hair movement. And it wasn't about, you know, just wanting to be part of something. I was just over relaxers. And so I transitioned and started wearing braids. I never did the big chop or anything, just started wearing braids, in particular kinky twists, because they were so easy to put in and take out. I think I had my last relaxer in 2005. I think it's when I had my last relaxer, and I'll show that because, 2005. I basically wore braids. I got my last set of kinky twists in 2009 in January. I went to Jamaica, got my kinky twists. When we came back, I was done, and I had decided that I wanted to start wearing locks. One of my best friends had been wearing locks for about 10 years, I think, and I was just so jealous, and I just really wanted locks. In hindsight, that was not the best move for me, because Everyone is different, and that goes for your hair. Part of me knew I probably should not have gotten locks. At the very least, I should have just taken some time to really get to know my hair. I jumped from not wanting to deal with relaxers anymore right into braids. And I would take my braids down, wash my hair, and get the braids put right back into my hair, into my head. And I just never really got to know my hair and what was best for my hair. So then I jumped right into faux locks. And at the time I was doing faux locks, they were very unpopular. They were very unpopular. And yeah, so it's not something that I was very open about. I just, popped up with them. It was, oh, you're fake. And this was like at the beginning of the natural hair movement, when people were like really, really militant, and you don't ever put fake hair in your hair and blah, blah, blah. And I put the faux locks in my hair just to see how I would like having locks. And that isn't really a good indication, because fake hair is not the same as real hair. It doesn't hang the same. The weight distribution throughout your hair is different. It's just not the same. And I knew this, but I pushed forward anyway. Wore the faux locks for a few months. After you wear faux locks for a few months and you wash them and I was over those. And I said, but I liked the way I looked wearing them. So I cut them off and I did a big chop. And I grew up my locks. And I wore locks for about 7 years. I didn't have the best experience. Again, I was listening to really militant people in the lock community about, you don't do this, don't put this on your hair, never do this, never condition. And my hair was just a mess the first 2 years. They were dry, they were brittle, because I'm a stupid idiot and I'm washing my hair and not using anything but baking soda and apple cider vinegar, and my poor hair was just deprived and screaming for treatment. And the first time I put a conditioner on my locks, oh my God, it's like my hair like took a breath. And it's like, oh my God, thank you. And that gave me, really opened my eyes to what works for some people necessarily won't work for you. And I want you to keep this in mind as you're watching this video and when I get to my hair loss. So about 2 years ago, no, let's back up a little bit more. About 3.5 years ago, I started noticing that my scalp was thinning. My hair had always been more fine in the front and a lot coarser and denser in the back. A lot of people have that. We have, varying texture types throughout our scalp. And I noticed that my hair was thinning. And we've all seen pictures of people with locks, and the locks start to thin, and people hold on to the locks, and they just hold on, because once you cut those locks off, you have to deal with that thinning hair. So instead of cutting my locks off, which I should have done, I should have immediately just cut them off and really started to pay closer attention to my scalp. I cut them. At the time they were about mid back. And so I cut them to shoulder length, because I just thought that maybe there was too much weight and my hair had gotten too long and it's too much weight. So I thought maybe if I cut them, I will, save my hair from thinning so much. I combined a few, and just to let you know, my hair has, this is one thing I did well. My hair was always thin in the front, so I never was on a strict retwisting schedule. I think I retwisted my hair maybe once every 2 to 3 months. Most people do it about once every 6 weeks, but I doubled that time because my hair was so, whenever moisture hits my hair and I add tension, it straightens. Like, it really straightens like a straightening comb. So I had trouble actually with my locks locking, because when I would wet and add gel and twist and palm roll, my hair would get too straight. And when your hair is straight, it's gonna resist locking. So the only way I could get my hair to really lock was to not really twist it. I was almost free. I almost had free form in the front anyway. I did twist the back, but the front was more of a free form lock style for me. So then I noticed that, back to the story. I noticed that my locks were thinning on my scalp, and so I cut them. And then I just said, that didn't help, and combining them didn't help. And then I just stopped twisting them all together, and that didn't help. I would just separate them. No twisting, no palm rolling, and that didn't help. And then I told my husband, I'm over these, but I'm not ready to let them go. So he came in with his clippers, and he gave me an undercut all the way around. And I thought that having an undercut and kind of wearing my hair up so that it wasn't like hanging so low and still adding tension, I thought just maybe having them up like in a bun almost would be better for my scalp. And I love that. I just thought I looked so freaking badass wearing that undercut, but it didn't help. And eventually I knew that I had to get rid of them. So I took my locks down about 2 years ago. 2016, I took down my locks. I wanted to also point out, I never went to any salons or anything for my hair. I went to the salon for the first time in 10 years, outside of like braiding salons. I went to a regular salon and got my hair done, and she saw my scalp, and she didn't say anything about the state of my scalp. She said she gave me a nice haircut, and I'm gonna add some pictures obviously throughout this entire video of my hair journey. She said you have a nice texture, which I don't even know what that is. Every black girl has a great texture. But she says, you have a nice texture. She says, you just have parts, and you just need to wait. You just took your locks out 2 weeks ago, and you just need to wait a couple of months, and then they'll grow in, because you've had parts in your hair for years. So it's going to take your hair some time to get used to that, which sounded very logical. And on anyone else, she was probably right. She told me, no, this isn't right, but because my hair was so thin, and it just didn't look right. And I was regretting taking down the locks, because at least I had a way to hide, the thinning hair spots. So I let my hair grow out. I cut it again, let it grow out some more. Applied, castor oil. I started taking biotin, for a whole year. I gave my hair 1 year for those gaps to fill in, and they never did. And as a matter of fact, it got worse. And so then I don't know, I was depressed. I was really depressed. It affected my self-esteem. I was wearing wigs all the time. I just wanted a nice TWA. I just wanted a fro. That's all. I did not care about length. I just wanted volume. I just wanted to feel like myself. Like I had this expectation of how I wanted to look, and the bottom, it just made me look so old, and just, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I got on YouTube, and I've been part of YouTube since 2006. I just actually started making videos though about a year ago, but I've been a strong part of the YouTube community since 2006, I think. And I saw other women struggling with hair loss, but they were a little bit older than me. At the time, I was, 37, and I'm experiencing losing all of my hair. Finally, my husband said, babe, I think you need to go to a doctor. And I said, just, in my mind, I'm like, a doctor? Why? I said, why would I need to go to a doctor? He said, you need to find out what's wrong with your scalp. He said, you'll go to a dermatologist. They'll look at your scalp, and they will let you know if your scalp is viable, if your follicles are even still capable of growing hair. He says, and if your follicles are dead, he said, and you can't grow your hair back, he said, then we can look at alternative treatments, maybe hair transplant or something like that. He said, but you just sitting here and rubbing oil on your scalp and crying and being depressed, it's not helping. And he was right. So I didn't even know that dermatologists, that's something that they did, that they, you know, that they treated your scalp issues. It's just not something that ever occurred to me. And I went to cosmetology school, and this is still not something that clicked in my head until my husband told me. So they got me in within a month, and my dermatologist is amazing. I actually requested, my husband's advice again, I actually requested a black dermatologist, but there were none in my particular network. But they did have someone, a woman of color, and she was able to get me in. And she's Indian, and she's amazing, and she is so well versed and experienced and knowledgeable about the kind of hair struggles that are unique to black women. And she put me at ease the very first appointment. And here's what she did. She examined my scalp, and I want to tell you what you should do when you go to see a dermatologist, but I'm going to get to that at the end of the video. But here's what she did. She examined my scalp. She noticed different patterns on my scalp as far as the hair loss goes. I was freaking out about losing my hair right in this area right here. So right here. My edges were fine. I had edges, but all of this part was very thin because that's where, you know, my locks were twisted. And right here on the top of my head. I wasn't really concerned about the back, and I should have been, but I wasn't. So I wanted to show you right now how my scalp looks. If you can see that, I hope you can. So she said, first plan of treatment, definitely I'm experiencing some very typical signs of hair loss. She said, here's what we can do. We can send you home, and I'm gonna give you a prescription for a topical ointment. It's called, people like to call it DermaSmooth. That's the kind of the brand name. And here it is. I still have some. It's fluocinolone acetonide topical oil, or DermaSmooth. I will leave, you know, the name of this in the description box below. So she gave me a prescription of this, and I was to put this on my scalp twice a week. And also she prescribed me just regular Minoxidil, which goes under the brand name of Rogaine. They have two different kinds. They have the foam kind and they have the oil kind. In the beginning, I did use foam. I'm gonna show you that right now. Okay, so this is the Minoxidil. I used the Kirkland Signature brand. And then this is the Walmart brand. This is the only one I could find, and I actually just started using this. This is the oil. And I'm gonna get to the differences and why I have two and why I use different ones. So I wanna send you home, and I want you to try this topical treatment along with Rogaine, Minoxidil. And if your scalp is liable in these areas, then we will move forward with scalp injections, steroid scalp injections. And if not, if it doesn't respond at all to the topical treatment and to the Rogaine, then we're gonna do a biopsy. She says, but your scalp looks very healthy. There are markers to scalp healthiness, I guess, and mine met them. So she didn't think that putting me through a biopsy was, you know, needed or necessary at this point. So she sent me home, and I started to apply the Rogaine and the DermaSmooth to my area right here and right at the top of my scalp. And yes, it worked. My hair started to grow back, and I started to grow hair on my face. I got sideburns, I got a mustache, my eyebrows were popping. But that bothered me. You know, I had to start getting my face waxed, and my edges, which I never had a problem with, they were really bushy. And when I came in 3 months later and she saw, she said, whoa. And she says, okay. She says, so your hair is completely viable in the front, your scalp is fine. She says, we're gonna start on injections. She says, and now at this point, you can probably stop with the Rogaine around the front. Just put it on the top. She says, don't put it on the front anymore. She says, it's not gonna be as dense, but you should be fine. And I wanna address that with Minoxidil, Rogaine. It is known and it's said that if you use it and you stop using it, then you lose your hair and you go back to being bald. That can be true, and it is true a lot of the time. However, as my dermatologist explained it to me, sometimes we just use, or they prescribe Rogaine just to kind of jumpstart your follicles, just so your follicles needs a little nudge to remember to start growing. And then in that case, the follicles are fine once they're stimulated and they continue to grow, and you don't necessarily lose all of the progress that you've made. And that was certainly the case for me in the front. However, that's not the case for me. And in the front is where I had the tension, the kind of the traction alopecia in the front. And she said, you came to me just in time, because sometimes even if it's reversible, the longer you wait, the harder it is to get your hair growing in these spots again. So I'm really happy that when it comes to my vanity, I trust science. I didn't spend years slathering, oils on my scalp and roots and berries. I went, after I gave myself 1 year and then jumped straight into medication, and I'm glad I did that. So I started to get scalp injections. And I also wanted to point out with the DermaSmooth, I would have had much better progress after about 6 months if I had been following the directions. When you get your medication, even if you think you know how to use it, ask somebody. The pharmacist will ask you, do you need to know how to use this? And most of the time I said, oh no, I just need to apply it twice a week. Well, no, I was applying it wrong and I wasn't getting the full benefit of the DermaSmooth. You're supposed to apply it to a damp scalp twice a week, cover it with plastic, and let it sit on your scalp for 4 to 8 hours. I wasn't doing that. So my hair did grow, but it did not grow the way it should have. I didn't have the results that I should have had. Once I started really taking the DermaSmooth seriously and I followed the directions, my hair thrived. So definitely follow the directions on the package or ask the pharmacist what you're supposed to do. Scalp injections once every 6 weeks. My hair made great progress. She was very adamant, no tension styles. And honestly, I'm not gonna ever be able to wear tension styles again. Locks, I had hoped to get them back. I'll never be able to have locks again. She told me no more relaxers ever, which yeah, I have literal scars on my scalp. I will never even look in the direction of a relaxer ever again. She says dye is okay, but she wants me to wait until my hair is stronger. I would like dye, but it's not a deal breaker. That's what wigs and things like that are for. So yeah, my hair was growing fine. And then about 3 months ago, I decided to wear my hair like this. And I started feeling more confident about getting out from under the wigs and wearing my natural hair, which honestly, you guys, is all I wanted. I just wanted some volume. I just wanted to wear my hair just out, and nothing fancy. I'm not interested in fancy wash and goes or anything like that. I just wanted to wear my hair. And so I parted my hair down the middle. And then I turned around with my mirror to make sure that my part was straight in the back. And I saw that I had no hair in the back. And I almost dropped the mirror. And my husband said, what's wrong? He came in. I'm like, oh my God, I'm bald in the back. And I'm gonna show you my hair, what I saw. I hope you guys saw that. If not, and I'll take pictures. So I went back to my dermatologist. I immediately started applying Rogaine back there. But see, that's the thing. I was so focused on what people could see, like straight ahead, that I really didn't, again, take my entire scalp health into consideration. I don't just have traction alopecia. I have hormonal hair loss and female pattern baldness. I have it, and I didn't take care of that part of my scalp the way I did the front, because I thought only the front was important. And also because my hair is so coarse and dense in the back, I automatically equated that with health and that my hair was healthy because it's thick, and that's not necessarily true. So my dermatologist said, yeah. She says, you have hair loss in the back. She says, I put injections back there every 6 weeks. She says, I put them, in the front. She says, but I concentrate the area in the back. I assumed that you were putting treatment back there, but it was in it. I have like some fuzz, but it just wasn't thriving the way the rest of my hair was. And she actually said that she was gonna bring that up at the appointment because she was a little concerned that I wasn't seeing the progress back there. I told her I had no idea that I was losing hair in the back. I did notice that she was putting injections back there, but I just thought she had to kind of treat the whole general area. But she says no. She says now it makes sense. You weren't putting your daily treatment on there, so you're not going to see that kind of progress. She says you're going to have to start, doing the protocol back there as well, which I did. And last time I went to the dermatologist, that brings us to now. I went to the dermatologist last in March, and I'm going to show you pictures of how my hair looked. So everything was going fine. My hair was thriving. I wish I had made a video. I wish I had done this a few months ago, but I didn't. I was just too scared and too ashamed to really put this out there. But I started the Ideal Protein Diet in April, and that is a severely low calorie, low fat, low carb, moderate protein diet. And it's designed to help you lose a lot of weight very fast. I did lose some weight very, very fast, but I also lost probably 50% of the progress that I made on my hair. My hair, when I washed my hair, that maybe after being on the plan for about a month, came out in literal clumps. I lost so much hair that I started to cry in the shower. I didn't know what was happening. And my husband said, you have been struggling with your hair for 2 years, and you have lost a lot of that progress in like 3 weeks. He said, you can't do this. And he was right. I also went to San Francisco for a week, and for the first time I put my hair in crochet braids, which is kind of a long-term protective style. And I'm able to put ointment on when I'm wearing my crochet braids, but I got lazy just because I was depressed that I had lost so much of the hair to begin with, which is why I decided to do the crochet, because I just didn't feel like dealing with the wigs on vacation, and I could not wear my real hair out because I had lost too much of it again. So I did the crochet, and I did not put my ointment on every day the way I was supposed to, so I lost a little bit more hair after that. So now I am facing the music. I have my next dermatologist appointment next month, I believe July 2nd or July 5th. It's either right before the holiday or right after the holiday. And I'm scared that what she's gonna say to me. Like, I had no idea that going on this diet and being so low calorie would cause such havoc with my hair. I totally regret it. Now I'm at a standstill with my diet because I do have weight to lose, and I spent all this money on the program, and I don't know what my dermatologist is gonna say. I clearly can't continue the way I was, but if it were anyone else, you know, the hair loss be like, oh, it's no big deal, it'll grow back once you start eating again, but I can't afford to do that. So yeah, but you know, it's even after a week of getting back, it was much worse 2 weeks ago, and it's starting to come back, starting to fight back again. So I know my scalp is strong and it's healthy. I just have to not slack at all. I have to not slack on my vitamins or anything like that. So it's getting there. You know, I'm happy with the progress, and I just want now to just kind of explain to you just some of the things that you should do to ensure that, you know, if you do have hair loss, that you get it taken care of. Now, natural remedies do work for some people, especially if you just have like a little thinning in the front. Yeah, castor oil will work. And as a matter of fact, my dermatologist actually took me off of DermaSmooth in March. This was before I royally screwed everything up and caused my hair to fall out. And she actually took me off of DermaSmooth and she put me on a different ointment. And this is what it is. Sorry, I lost the cap to this. It's clobetasol propionate ointment, some kind of ointment. I use this, I'm supposed to use this every other day. And then on the alternate days, I'm supposed to use castor oil, which I do. So I still have to use the Rogaine, especially on the back, because that is hormonal, female pattern baldness combination. I have to use Rogaine forever. It's a little depressing, but I have no real desire to, you know, wear straight hairstyles or anything that's just gonna, you know, cause issues for me having to apply the Rogaine. If you have to do it, you have to do it. It's medicine, and you need it. So it's no point in being depressed and, you know, just completely beside yourself that you have to take medicine to keep your scalp healthy. We just have to do that sometimes. But I'm supposed to do Rogaine every day, the ointment, and then the following day Rogaine and castor oil. And she says the castor oil will definitely help my hair continue to thrive. So I know, like, the natural community, you're going to be very happy to know that my dermatologist does recommend castor oil. She's also going to get me started on some kind of essential oils, but she thinks the castor oil is more beneficial for me right now. And why, when I was in San Francisco on vacation, I didn't kind of follow along with my hair growth protocol was because sometimes the foam gets messy and you really can't get down. So I bought the drops, and I find that much easier to apply. I didn't want to use the drops because the reviews said that they were messy and blah blah blah, and it can be, but you just kind of just take it and just kind of apply it to, you know, wherever you need it, and you massage that into your scalp. I tend to do it right before I get into the shower, and I kind of like the steam to you know, just make it a little more absorbent for my scalp. Like this, I just use the foam because it's better. I use the oil for when I have my hair in protective styles and I don't have like really easy access to my scalp. I am working on a faux lock video right now, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that using if you suffer from fine hair or thin hair or alopecia, how to do crochet braids. I find that those are the best low tension hairstyles. I only wear them for about 2 weeks at a time because I do need to take, you know, my hair down and wash it and treat my scalp and everything, and that really works out well for me doing crochet locks. I think those are the best. I also make my own wigs. Most of the time they're crochet wigs because I don't like, you know, lace caps to really be too tight on my hair or on my scalp, and I don't like wearing wig caps, so the crochet knit caps are better. They're just better for me. They're looser, and I just like the kinky styles that you get with crochet. I do have a few friends who also are experiencing hair loss, and it's, you know, from age 28 to 50. And when they found out the success that I was having, it inspired them to stop covering and start treating. And a couple of my friends were not taken seriously by their dermatologist, because they went in with their regular hairstyles, and dermatologists will, you know, some dermatologists, just like other medical professionals, they just don't take Black women seriously and our issues seriously and our skin conditions seriously. They're just not really in tune to what we go through and our unique health concerns. So because she was able to wear a fro, oh, you're fine, you know, because they see, you know, white women or white men who come in and they're doing, you know, these elaborate Donald Trump hideous comb overs. It's like, oh, you're fine, you know, you don't need help, you're fine. And honestly, if I pick my hair out into a fro, you can't see it. You can't see, and I am pretty bald. But the way our hair is, yeah, we can cover it up, but we shouldn't have to cover it up. She was able to find someone, and actually it's 3 of my friends. 2 of them were able to find dermatologists to take them seriously and to help them and start, you know, treatment plans that are tailored for them. And my one friend is still actually waiting to find a dermatologist of color, because, you know, her male white dermatologist was trash, quite frankly. I've seen her bald spots. She needs help. So when you go to see a dermatologist, I would urge all Black women to try to find, at the very least, a woman who will understand and know what you're going through. Definitely a woman of color, a Black woman even better, or a Black male even better. They will look at your scalp and they'll know what your hair is supposed to look like, and they will help you. Don't go in with your fro picked out. Don't go in with your wet set popping and bouncing, and, you know, because you get into this groove of knowing how to cover up those spots. It's for everyday wear. Don't cover those spots up. There was an episode of The Golden Girls where Dorothy was trying to get treated for her chronic fatigue syndrome, and she walks into the kitchen and Sophia said, take the makeup off. You look too healthy. That's why no one's taking you seriously. Can't walk into the doctor's office if you're suffering from a chronic disease all made up and just looking fine, especially with women, because they just always think that something is in our heads anyway. And I applied that to myself when I went to the dermatologist's office. So it was very easy for me to walk in there with my hair straight and just like this, and boom, it's right in her face that, yeah, she has some hair issues. Make sure that they can visibly see just how far gone you are, so they can take you seriously. It's sad that you feel like this is such a dirty secret with Black women. You know, our hair is like everything. It is such a huge part in who we are and how we see ourselves. And if your hair isn't 100%, if it's not laid, you know, if your baby hairs aren't laid and edges laid, and just if you're not 100%, it's like people think that gives them the right to call you out and to make you feel bad about your hair just not being peak condition all the time. Terrible mindset. But it's just, you know, every culture has their downsides, and that is really a downside with Black culture, that we're judged so harshly according to our hair. And, you know, that's why we turn to things that can be potentially harmful, like relaxers, like these tension hairstyles, and then we cover up the results of those poor lifestyle choices with wigs and weave, and we are treated terribly by the medical profession. So then we need help, but we just don't want to go because we know that we'll have to, you know, we're not going to get the same level of care. It's a vicious cycle. But if you are experiencing hair loss, you shouldn't suffer find a doctor, see a doctor, and get treated. This is a medical condition. Roots and berries are fine. You know, if it works for you, it works for you. But this, roots and berries, was not going to do anything for this. Roots and berries is not going to slow the progress of female pattern baldness. Just like you can't slather roots and berries on a guy's scalp and, you know, on LeBron James's scalp and tell him, you know, go on your way. You need medical intervention sometimes. And I hope that this video has kind of shown you guys what medical intervention can do. I'm going to show pictures of my hair on better days, because this is not, but even still, I didn't have any of this. I would not have been able to wear my hair like this a year ago. And, you know, it's thriving for the most part. I do have some issues still, and I will address those. And I'm going to be very transparent when I do something wrong that's going to kind of derail or delay my progress, like I am in this video. My hair looks like this right now because I didn't do what I was supposed to do, because I went against my better judgment, and I'm still doing it. And I knew that this ideal protein plan, you know, I was just desperate to lose weight, but I knew that 600 calories to 900 calories a day, something's gonna have to give. And unfortunately, it was my hair. You live and you learn. The good thing is I can get it back. It's just gonna take some more time, and that's the price I have to pay for losing 10 pounds in a month. What can you do? So I wanted to just really quickly give you or tell you about some other options that my dermatologist gave me that I might look into in the future if my hair doesn't get to the point where I want it to be. And actually, my husband is actually for this particular one, a hair transplant, where they will just take some hair from the healthy part of your scalp and graft it to not so healthy parts, and then you have just a beautiful head of hair. It works sometimes it does not. They think that it would work well on me because my hair still has the ability to grow. It's very slow, and yeah, they think that it would be a good option for me, and that's definitely something that I will explore if I feel like I need to. I'm hoping that being very diligent with my treatment program that I'm currently on will eliminate the need for that. But to be honest with you, I don't want to go the next 20, 30 years covering up bald spots, even tiny ones. And if that is something, yes, there's a high failure rate, but you know, I think I would be willing to risk that rather than just going the next. I feel like I'm still in my prime. I'm not even middle age yet. So I don't want to go the next 20 years. I don't like wearing wigs. You know, I want to wear my hair. I want to enjoy my hair in a way that I wasn't able to in my 20s and in my teens, and because, you know, of just not really loving my hair. So that is definitely something that I'm going to look into if I'm not seeing the kind of progress that I want to see after maybe about another year or two. I'll give it. And there's also PRP therapy, and that's what I had to go and look up. Platelet-rich plasma. I guess they take the plasma treatment and they do something to your scalp. My dermatologist actually was very enthusiastic about that. She thinks that might be something that I could look into. My husband kind of is on the side of just, you know, if you want hair transplant, because it will be more permanent and it's a better success rate, and it's backed by better science and history than PRP. But we'll see. Right now I'm just going to stick to, you know, the topical treatments and whatever, and just taking very good care of my scalp, and hopefully that will give me the results that I'm looking for. So that's it. As always, if you have any questions, I know I said in the beginning of the video that I'm happy that I don't have a lot of followers, because it would have been harder for me to put this video out. But now that I've just gotten it all out and I'm putting it out there, share this video, please. If you know anyone who is struggling with hair loss, YouTube is a great community, and I've gotten so much help and guidance from other people here on YouTube, especially Black women, when it comes to our hair. And I want every Black woman to feel her best and to feel magical and to not hide away in shame and pain because something on her body is less than perfect. We are not our hair, but we deserve to have the best hair that we could possibly have at the same time. So please like, share, and subscribe to this video if you found it helpful, or if you know someone who will find this video helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I absolutely 100% will get back to you with any questions that you may have that I didn't cover in this video. I will update this again. I have my next appointment in July, and I will update you guys with the results of that appointment, and I'll make this a monthly series so you guys can see the progress, which I should have done before, but I didn't. But I'll make this a monthly series so you guys can see the progress that I'm making, and hopefully it'll encourage you or inspire you to, you know, get started on the road to healthier hair and a healthier scalp. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for a crochet lock video that I'm going to be uploading soon on how to do crochet locks on thin, fine, and alopecia hair. See you next time. Bye-bye.